Hey y'all. Okay, that was another part that cut off, so we're going to keep going. We were just ending in Exodus 14, and the Lord saved Israel from the hands of the Egyptians, but he swept the Egyptians into the Red Sea. And we're in chapter 14, Exodus 14. That's where we see that in verse 28. And then the end of that says that the entire army of the Pharaoh that had followed the Israelites into the sea to try to bring them back, they realized that when the Pharaoh had said, let them go, I'm tired of all these plagues and the deaths of the firstborn son and animals, let them go and bless us before you go. And then he said, what were we thinking? We've lost their service now, so they went after them. And this is where the Lord deals with them. And it says that none of them survived in verse 28. None of them survived. The whole army was destroyed by God. Do you see where God kept setting up situations to show us his power? That's where you need to fear the Lord. That's where I need to fear the Lord, is to realize, you know what? Careful, because this is the God of the heavens and the earth, the universes, not just this earth. He's made everything. He's outside of it all. When people are so proud of themselves that they do astrology and astronomy and they know geography and all the planets and this earth and what's going on, it's like, you know nothing. Your wisdom is nothing. You found a black hole or a new universe or a new star, which is a sun. You see all these things and you think, look what we know. It's like, you know nothing. I know the God who made all that, and that black hole you found, and at the end of all the space, whatever's past it, God made everything. He's never not existed. Earth just had a beginning. And that's where he decided to put us. Some people have asked me, Beth, do you think that there is aliens, meaning people or life of some sort, that whether we understand it or not, on other planets? I have no idea. God certainly could have done that. And he could have just as easily decided to put it all on one dot, one pale blue dot in the middle of the universe that is, what's the word, infinitesimal? You can't even tell when you pull back from just the cameras we have been able to see. God's bigger than our cameras. God's bigger than our ability to see. Look at that sometime. Look at space shows that show that sometime. There's one show by Louis Giglio where he has a friend at NASA, and he shows him that. He shows where the satellite's pulled back and the Earth is just this pale blue dot, and that's us. And we are not that big of a deal. And yet, we're such a big deal that our God came to this planet and lived on it. It's all very big. Okay. Don't ever write off the Old Testament. Okay, here we go. So now we're in chapter 15. And I'm not going to read it. It is the song of both Moses and Miriam. And it is kind of the story that we've been talking about. And yeah, it's that whole chapter, y'all. And then it's at the end of that chapter, at the end of chapter 15, we see. And if you're saying, what are you talking about, Miriam? Well, Miriam is in verse 20, is it? Yeah, there she is. Then Miriam, the prophet, Aaron's sister, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her in timbrels and dancing. And Miriam sang, "Sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted." Both sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. Both horse and driver he is hurled into the sea. Timbrels are like tambourines. And they're dancing and singing and thanking God for what he's done. Hold on, I'm looking real quick. There's a footnote that says that some say this Song of Moses is the oldest recording of a song in the world. I thought we've heard other songs before, but anyway. So who is Miriam? It's Aaron's sister, which I think also wasn't Miriam's sister. I thought it, anyway. Okay, and so she is called, by the way, a prophetess or prophet. Not only because she receives revelations from God, which Numbers 12, 1 and 2, and Micah 6, 4 will confirm, but also because of her musical skill. Prophecy and music are often closely related in the Bible. And some other examples of that are 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 5, and 1 Chronicles chapter 25, verse 1. Okay, so let's keep going. In verse 22, it says, the Lord led Israel from the Red Sea, and they went into the desert of Shur. For 3 days, there's the 3 days thing again, they traveled in the desert without finding water. And when they came to Mara, which means bitter, they could not drink it because the water was bitter. And that's why the place is called Mara. So the people grumbled against Moses, saying, what are we to drink? And Moses cries out to the Lord and showed him a piece of wood. And the Lord showed him a piece of wood, and he said, throw it in the water, and it will make the water fit to drink. It makes me wonder what kind of wood was that. But anyway, so the Lord gives instructions constantly to them. As long as they stay close to him, he gives them instruction. He says, if you listen carefully to the Lord your God and do... Listen, this is for us too. If you listen carefully to the Lord your God and do exactly what he says, if you pay attention and you keep his decrees, I will not bring on you any of these diseases I brought on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who will heal you. And they didn't listen. And the diseases just keep spreading, don't they? Then they came to Elim, where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees, and they camped there near water. Okay. So what do you think happens next? So they got water. A beautiful, sounds like Beverly Hills. These beautiful springs of water and palm trees. Beautiful. So what do they do in chapter 16? The whole Israelite community sets out for Elim and came to the desert of Sin. And look in verse 2. And the whole community of them started grumbling against Moses at God again. Moses and Aaron are catching it. Once again, they said, if we'd only died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. Here they go again. Where we sat around pots of meat and ate food all the time. But you brought us into this desert to starve. After they already complained about not having water, God said, trust me, I'll give you instructions, I'll give you water. That he did that, and now they're going, we don't have any food. You should have just stayed in Egypt. God says, I will rain down bread from heaven. That's in verse 4. For you people are to go out each day and gather enough only for that day. This was to test them, it says, to see whether they would follow my instructions. Do you ever feel like God tells something to your heart, and you know, well, 10 Commandments, but lots of other things where God just speaks to our heart, and we know. And he's testing us to see if we will do what he said. And you may think, well, Beth, he knows one way or the other. Yes, but he's letting it play out in time. For us, not for him. He doesn't need it to. But he does do it for that purpose. Let's go to... Verse 6, Moses and Aaron said to the Israelites, in the evening you will know that it was the Lord who brought you out of Egypt, and in the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your grumbling against him. Who are we that you should grumble against us? Moses also said, you will know it is the Lord who gives you something to eat in the evening and bread in the morning, because he's heard your grumbling. Who are we? You are not grumbling against us, meaning me, Moses, and Aaron. You're grumbling against the Lord, because that's who's giving us the instructions of what to do, and you know that. Then Moses told Aaron, say to the entire Israelite community, come before the Lord, for he's heard your grumbling. Do you realize, remember, each time Moses is God to Aaron, meaning Aaron doesn't know what to say. God's coming through Moses, he tells him what to say, and then Moses tells Aaron how to eloquently say it. Because Moses, remember, was humble and slow of speech, so he's using Aaron. Do you ever see that sometimes in your life where some person is used by another person and you're not sure which one of them is the leader? Look closely. There always will be a leader. That doesn't mean they can't use somebody else for their skill set. There's nothing wrong with that. God's doing it right here. He's specifically doing it. He could have made Moses able to do it, but instead he said, hey, see Aaron, use him. He's making them work together. So, in verse 13 it says, that evening quail came and covered the camp, and in the morning there was a layer of dew around them, and when the dew was gone, thin flakes like frost appeared on the ground of the desert floor. When the Israelites saw it, they said to each other, what is this? We did not know what it is. Moses said, it is the bread the Lord has given you to eat. Everyone gather up as much as you want, that you need. Don't keep any of it till the morning. This is just enough for today. What does that mean? He is trying to teach them that the Lord is saying, depend on me, moment by moment, day by day. Don't save anything. Wait for me. Now, that doesn't mean that today God is saying, don't put any money in a savings account. Just spend everything you got. Because the Bible also tells us in Proverbs that the ant stores up. And God thinks that's a good thing to store up and to plan. But what he's doing is teaching them reliance on him. So it's important in this case that he is saying, I don't want you to store up anything. I want you to get what you need for today. There's the reliance. There's the storing up